Hi, my name is Elijah Robinson, and I'll be interviewing the founder of George's Gourmet Pound Cakes. Nice to meet you.
How you doing, sir?
Now I'll be asking you a series of questions. If you don't feel comfortable answering those questions, just let me know.
Sure.
So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what is your education background?
Well, I'm from Camden, New Jersey. I went to Camden High. I went to Rowan University, and I got a degree in business administration, and my concentration is or was management information systems. And so I have been in the IT field for the last 20 years or so.
All right. So, second question, what was your previous work experience? Do you have any starting for the adventure? Yeah.
Well, like I said, my work experience has always been in the IT field as an entrepreneur, consulting, um, working for corporations, and also teaching too. So pretty much I've been in the IT field. That's been my work experience.
Did you have any other past jobs or anything like that? Or any interest in anything else?
Well, of course, the business, which is George's Gourmet Pound Cakes, has always been my passion too. But I have not worked in the baking industry. Um, my passion is baking, and my technical skills are in IT.
Okay. We're going on to the third question. Do you have any role models when growing up?
Sure, my mom has always been my role model, so that she's been my main role model. Of course, my grandmother. This business is its foundation is my grandmother and how she used to bake pound cake for her grandkids.
So she inspired you to
Yeah,
bake the pound cakes and everything like
yes, grandmom and mom. Yes,
that? All right. Going on to the next question. When did you know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Always from the time I was a child. I mean, the first thing that I would read in middle school was always the business section.
So you
I
found
read
interest
stuff
in it for
always.
okay,
Yeah,
at an early
always.
age. All right. So what was your primary motivation for starting a business?
Well, just like with any entrepreneur or startup company, you have a product and you put it out there and you notice that people are they like your product. And I said, wait a second, I can make a business out of this. They were asking for it, and that's how it got started. The customers started liking it. I said, why not charge them for it?
Makes
It's
sense.
entrepreneur.
So what were your goals at the time when you started the venture?
My goal was just to get started. A lot of times we have ideas and we let those ideas sit on the table and we don't move forward on them. So my goal was simply to get incorporated and just to get started with selling the first pound cake, just to start business.
All right. We're gonna move on to the next question. What sort of resources, not just financial, but did you have any when you started the venture, like any financial problems or anything like that?
Always financial problems. I started up the business on my own, and the resources, because it's a startup business, I took steps. But I moved forward as I took steps in the business in terms of renting out space. From there, getting contracts. Um, as money came in, I was able to buy more stuff. So I used revenue to fund those expenses that I had. So yeah.
All right. How concerned were you with the control when you started the adventure? You
Um, the concern was time. I worked full time, and of course, as an entrepreneur, I wanted to control everything. I was vice president of finance, of operations, of everything. And as an entrepreneur, it's hard to release control because you got to delegate if you really want to be successful.
know. Makes sense. All right. Moving on to the next question is, do you have a write a business plan? Did you have a
Absolutely. In the beginning, I did write a business plan to determine who my customer was, how much is it going to cost for startup costs. All those things are in my business plan. And then, of course, the business plan changes over time. But the foundation, yeah, I did have a business plan and used it um, to see what direction I was going in. A lot of times in the bakery industry, people think my business was just making pound cakes for people, but that was not it. In my business plan, it was a whole whole different ball game. So,
All right. Moving on to the next set of questions is have how have your goals and values changed since starting the venture?
as the customers change, as the market changes, so has my goals and directions changed. Right now, I moved to Denver. It's a whole set of customers. They've never seen the pound cake. They It's something new, something different, and so my goals change. What I did in New Jersey, I can't do in Denver. You know, so yeah,
Different atmosphere.
yeah,
All right.
yes,
Did you did your risk orientation change the venture grow?
certainly. I took more risks to increase revenue. Um, Identifying different markets. Yeah, risk is very important. I took more risks. Didn't take less risks. I took more.
All right. Did you have any assumptions? Did you have the assumptions you made when you first started the business to prove to be wrong?
Yes. When I first started the business, I thought that possibly as I was making the cake, I would get more business individual cake sales. But in actuality, the revenue growth is always in the wholesale retail end, and not necessarily baking for individuals.
All right. Number five. What key mistakes did you make along the way?
Location, probably the location of my business, which is my mom's coffee house. It's a coffee house named after my mom, and I had to pick that location because there was only one because I was funding my business, but probably should have picked a better location with more funding. Probably that would probably be the best.
All right. Were were there critical times when the business nearly failed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How bad would you say the critical? Like how bad would you say it was?
Well, I mean, uh, revenue was down. You know, the location wasn't a lot of customers where I was going at, and the competition is pretty fierce in terms of the big players like U.S. Foods and Cisco. So they ate up a lot of my customers, and so it was getting to that point definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. So what would you do differently if you had to do it all over again?
Investors, partners,
Making connections and stuff like that.
yeah, I would do it with partnership and not on my own.
All right. What key personal characteristics do you see yourself that were essentially important for your success?
Personability, I'm very personable. I can sell the product. I'm a people person, and that allowed me to go into places and talk to people and sell my product and get them comfortable, and just push the product. So one of those characteristics is I'm just a people person. I love the product so much. I can talk about it. I can sell it. I can push it.
All right. What are your plans for the future?
Future is to open up uh, Georgia's Gourmet Pound Cakes to the Colorado state of Colorado, to the Denver market, to Boulder, to Aspen, to grow that market. It's something new, something different, with a huge amount of coffee houses and wholesale markets. It's just huge, and I'm going to be growing that market in the future.
So tell me a little bit about your product.
I'm glad you asked. The product is Georgia's Gourmet Pound Cake, and I happen to have one here. This is a sweet home honey. I used to have 30 flavors, but I cut them down to 7 uh, to focus on those that are popular.
Yeah,
This
more
is one of
popular.
them.
People might want to buy more.
Yes, and that lowers my cost, so I don't have to have all these different ingredients.
Or have too much, and you might have too much and not be able to sell it.
Yes. So as an entrepreneur, I have to look at that. What sells, and only sell those that sell.
And
Sometimes
basically
you have
look
to
what
cut
people
costs.
like look what people like more, and then you you might get a better.
Yes, exactly. So that's what I did. This is Sweet Home Honey. This is actually a South Jersey pine berry honey. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. It's very unique. There's orange honey and cranberry honey. And so I have a honey line. I have outrageous butter. These pound cakes go good with everything. You can freeze them, take them out. Customers, freeze them, take them out, eat them. You can heat them up, put them on a plate with ice cream and sell it for $7.99 or whatever, depending on the restaurant, depending on what you want to do. So, yep, George's Gourmet Pound Cakes at georgespoundcakes.com.
So I got one more question for you. Like,
Yes,
when you first started, and it's like, how many like flavors? Like, did you overdo it with the
I
ingredients and
did.
stuff? You over?
I overdid it with the number of cakes because customers kept asking for more cakes. And a lot of times when you do that, I just created a hodgepodge of products that, some of them probably weren't needed. Um, I did overdo it. My original pound cake is outrageous butter. That's the flagship. And so that's original butter pound cake. And then I have a French vanilla, fantastic French vanilla, ludicrous lemon. This is sweet home honey. That's one of the popular ones. A bam bam banana and a marble. And so those are the ones that I sell now.
So like, do the cakes only come like this, or do they come in like whole cakes, like like
They come whole if that's what you want. We can sell them whole, but they come like this, and the case of 24. You buy a case of 24
for how much?
depending on what is negotiated at the sale price.
Like, what would your price be for it? Like, if somebody was just to come up to you and buy like a whole box.
I would sell the case of 24 to, for example, a retail outlet for a dollar 40 a slice.
Okay.
They would sell it for $2.99.
$1.40 a slice is not too bad.
Yeah.
And if it's coming in a box too, that's not bad.
Yeah. So this would be $1.40, $1.50, and they would sell it for $2.99, and everybody makes money.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. No problem. It's really nice having you.